Welcome back. So it's a bright day here. So I have to angle the camera a little bit away from the window, or else this camera says, "And I'm done." And I've had one camera just decide not to work again after just getting too much light and saying, "That's it, I quit." So I have to watch for that. So we got two games tonight. I am not wearing a jersey of a team that plays tonight because I want to stay out of it. I'm not even wearing a jersey of a team that's named on the board. Just a team that's waiting for an opponent. They might find out who that opponent is tonight. Toronto and Montreal, playing in Montreal. 2,500 fans will be there at Bell Center, and that should be very enjoyable to watch. And 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Foligno will be in the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Sandin will be out. Dermott will be in, as expected. Foligno is playing. It looks like it's on the second line, so we'll see how things go for Toronto tonight. But they should finish this off. I mean, they should, and yet we just saw Vegas needing to get to a game 7 before they finally win it. It might be kind of fun to see another game 7. Because again, why not? And then for Winnipeg fans, your team gets all that time off, right? And you'd have to think that then game 1 in the North would be on Wednesday. If this game is finished tonight, odds are game 1 would probably be on Monday. As they have to keep these close together. They can't have extra days off to try to give guys rest because they have to award the Stanley Cup by a certain date, or else you're having to push back the expansion draft, the entry draft, free agency, and they can't push all that back. So, yeah, you have to get it awarded as soon as possible. So, yeah, if Toronto wins tonight, odds are they're off tomorrow. They're probably playing on Monday. If Montreal wins tonight, both teams play on Monday, and then the winner probably plays on Wednesday. So, again, it just gives extra time off for Winnipeg if we get a Montreal win tonight. Then game 1, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. Boston Bruins at home against the New York Islanders. The only way that Boston was going to have home ice was if the Islanders won their series. So, Boston has home ice, probably the last time they'll have home ice in the playoffs. And here we are. Boston, this series started out being very much in favor of the Islanders towards the end of the regular season when they met. Boston beat them, but this series should be pretty even. The one thing I'll say is the start time's listed as 8 o'clock Eastern. If this follows the same playbook of the first round matchups, all the start times for the game ones were about a half an hour before actual puck drop. About half an hour. So don't be too surprised if the actual puck drop is a half an hour later. It may even say puck drops at 5:09 Pacific, 8:09 Eastern, and then they just keep going to commercials. So, yeah, we'll see what ends up happening there, but it'll be entertaining either way. And it's sort of an NBA thing. You have a first round matchup and a second round matchup, and they're overlapping each other. Again, feels like an NBA playoffs when that happens. Vancouver news. The Sedins, Jim Benning announced that, the Sedins are joining the organization. They're just trying to figure out exactly what the title of that role is going to be. And basically, he said they're going to learn every part of the organization. They're going to learn the scouting. They're going to learn all of it. All of it. Which tells me that it's going to be more of an expanded role later. The speculation has been that they may be training one to take over the scouting department. Maybe they're training one to be a general manager. But it's been pretty clear the whole way through that the Canucks, when the Sedins retired, made it clear that they wanted them to stick with the organization. Jim Benning told them himself when they retired that they'd always be welcome. And I think it's only going to be a benefit, but we'll see what ends up happening. They've stayed in Vancouver. When they retired, they didn't go home to Sweden. They stayed in Vancouver. And anybody that I know that's run into them in public has said they're really great. They take pictures with people. They sign autographs. They're very personable. And they've raised their kids in Vancouver. So they really are Vancouver Canucks to the core. And they didn't end up going home after their career was done because they call Vancouver home. So it's a good idea, I think, to bring them in. And you know what? I will say this too. I think that having delayed it until after the press conference, after the season's over, and pushing it back a little bit might be better to get away from some of this other the cloud that kind of hangs over this. I don't know. I don't know how thick that cloud is. I know they had a rally and it wasn't that well attended. The firebending rally, there wasn't that many people there. But again, we'll see what happens and when the Sedins join the organization. The question out of last night's Game 7, other than will Vegas be able to recover in time for that Game 1 against Colorado and really muster much of a fight? My answer is yes. I don't think Vegas will have much trouble against Colorado. Getting up for the game, winning the game may be something completely different, but I think it'll be pretty hotly contested from the beginning. But again, when do I not say things are hotly contested, right? Parise, though. What's Parise's role with Minnesota going forward? Minnesota last summer, remember? Actually, last trade deadline, before the pause and everything, Lou Lamoriello was working out a deal to get him out of Minnesota, to get Parise. And then, of course, things shut down. We get the flat cap, and it doesn't come through. But with what happened in the playoffs and him being a healthy scratch for a few games in the playoffs, you have to think Minnesota's headed towards a divorce with Parise. But how does that work? They still can't really buy it out. That's not really an option. So it all seems to be kind of stuck in limbo. I can't see Seattle taking on his contract. And I can't, again, with the flat cap, I can't see any other teams taking his contract either. So it'll be fascinating to see if he still is a Minnesota Wild player. And if he gets kind of the I'm not going to say like Louis Eriksson in Vancouver ends up only playing 7 games this year. And he didn't fit in with the lineup and his contract's not tradable. If Parise's contract's not tradable and if they don't see him as part of the everyday lineup, does he end up playing like 40 games next year instead of 80? What happens? Like, again, there's time, but for Bill Guerin, it's a major decision for him as to what's going to happen with Zach Parise. So Sportsnet today published their top 5 lines in round 1 of the playoffs, and I don't know what to say. This is where I kind of get a chuckle. So I get the high danger chances and the slot chances and all this. But to say that the number 1 line in the first round of the playoffs has been Hyman, Matthews, and Marner, I don't even think most Maple Leaf fans would say that's been the best line in hockey in the first round of the playoffs. The second line they had there was Svechnikov, Aho, Teravainen. The third line, Marchessault, Carlson, and Smith, which I mentioned in the preview for that series today, they didn't get very many goals. I don't even know if I would qualify them as the best line for Vegas. The one with Stone on it's pretty good. Marchand, Bart Bergeron, and Pasternak's number 4. Number 5's Fast, Stahl, and Foegele. Do they know that Colorado exists and the Nathan MacKinnon line? Because to me, the Nathan MacKinnon line's the best line in hockey. And this is where I look at some of the charts and stuff people post and I go, that's nice. So who scored the most goals? It's too simplistic a way of looking at it. Right. So let's see. Just looking at this board I've got here from the preview today. 9, 17, 24 points scored by the MacKinnon line in round 1 in 4 games. 24 points. Not one of the top 5 lines in the first round. Probably allowed some chances the other way. Maybe they didn't have as much high danger time. Maybe they didn't need it. Maybe they just go down the ice and they score and done. You're like, well, that only took 12 seconds. That's not ozone time. Okay, but they scored. Yeah, but all right. So the Matthews line's the best line in the first round. No. I do think that this line has taken more criticism than they should because the finishing hasn't been there. But no. Just no. The fact there's no line for the Islanders, and again, it's just, yeah, I have a hard time with that. The best line in round 1 has been Hyman, Matthews, Marner. It even mentions in the article, yeah, we know they're not getting goals, but no, that's how you win hockey games. That's how you win hockey. You score goals to win the game. Like, you don't see guys coming off the ice after they get shut out 4-0 going, man, we had a lot of ozone time tonight. I'm really proud. Did you see me on that face-off? You were deadly on that face-off, dude. Man, but we lost the game 4-0. Stop seeing the scoreboard. See beyond the scoreboard. Yep. there you go. All right, so at least they get the high danger chances. I just, all right. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. McKinnon, bloody McKinnon. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And Rantanen and Landeskog. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I can't wrap my brain around that one. Thank you guys, though, for all your support. And hey, I will talk to you again soon.